Playstyles has tons of heroes, and picking the wrong one can make your games feel literally impossible. So today, I'm going to help you find the hero that fits how you actually play. In this video, I break down the best heroes for different playstyles, whether you're new, coming from Overwatch, trying to rank up, or just simply looking for your new main. This should help you find the right hero. Marvel Rivals has all of its heroes broken down into 3 different roles, which are Vanguard, Duelist, and Strategist. These are kind of just fancy names for tank, DPS, and healer. The only person that kind of bypasses all of that is Deadpool because he has one in each, but that's for his own video. If you're the type of player that wants to carry fights, the 3 I would recommend are Bucky, Venom, and Adam. Bucky is a really good character to not only isolate enemy players, you can pull one and then just destroy a team fight when they're man down, or just take over the whole fight single-handedly with your ult. There's memes everywhere about the again spree that Bucky's can get away with, and sometimes when you're not held in check, you can just take over the entire game. The second is Venom. I believe Venom is such a good character, especially if you don't have very many friends to play with, because this character really doesn't rely on his team. You can swing in, dive down, take out 2 people, dive back out, and if you're not getting healed, you can just dive right onto a health pack and be walking out scot-free. I feel like Venom has so much potential to just carry fights the entire game because he can basically neutralize the fight altogether, where there's not even a fight, and the best fight is no fight. Adam is my 3rd recommendation, and Adam is also my avoid as a beginner. I feel like Adam is really strong and can definitely take over games, especially if you're not only headshotting to refresh your heals, so you're not only getting a crazy amount of heals with every snap, but you also have the chance to just turn a complete fight with your ultimate. However, if you are not headshotting and you are not refreshing your E, you are probably lacking a lot of heals, and you are probably gonna be hurting your team more than you're helping your team. So I would definitely recommend, if you are gonna try out Adam, quick play a lot more than you're gonna rank as you're starting out with him. Obviously have faith in yourself and have some confidence, but be careful on this one as a beginner. The next spot of recommendations is for players that want to protect their team. For these heroes, I have Namor, Thing, and White Fox. I feel like Namor is like the biggest name that everybody knows for anti-dive, and like the #1 most asked for swap when it comes to people like Spider-Man, Black Panther, Black Cat now. He is so good to just throw down your squids, get going, get some free hits. It auto tracks the diver, so you don't even really have to think about it. It will show you where they're at, you turn, you help out your team. It is a free choice for protecting your team, and honestly a pretty easy character to pick up. Thing is my next recommendation. I feel like Thing is a very easy pickup, and you can kind of track whoever is hunting down your healers or your DPS or your other tank. He is so good at just tracking the threat and neutralizing it that I really think he is a great choice for protecting your team. Almost at any points, I feel like against flyers he's not very good at protecting, but now he can kind of fly, so I would almost say he's just like one of the best choices for protecting your team. White Fox is my last recommendation for protecting your team, but this is also an avoid as beginner. I feel like White Fox has a lot of potential and a lot of room to save your team, especially from diving threats, but it does require you to track a lot, not only like the healing your main team, but also tracking your healer while they're trying to avoid the dive. So I feel like it's real easy to kind of get mixed up between either full fighting or full healing, and that's going to make it a little bit harder to pick up White Fox day 1 and just be a great person to protect your team with, but I do think she is amazing at it once you get it down. The next recommendation is for players who want to heal and support but also still make plays, and now I'm super biased on this. I am a support player, so I would say anybody on the roster has potential for this, but I did narrow this section down to some of the characters that I think are the most flashy, kind of cool in this sense, and that's going to be Gambit, Mantis, Jeff, and then I had 2 kind of honorable mentions with Luna and Deadpool. Gambit is someone who can just take over the whole game. He can not only be bouncing cards to get so many heals, but you press R one time and you can just be a full-fledged DPS player for at least the duration of the ultimate. Besides that, the anti-heals can be super flashy for great plays or comboing plays. I just feel like Gambit is such a sheer shot for healing and supporting, but still making really good plays. Now, Mantis is my second recommendation for this, and this one might be a little bit of an odd choice if some people are thinking about it, but the way Mantis works is if you can play this properly and you're constantly doing damage with headshots, resetting all your leaves, getting really good sleeps on anti-dive, which is extremely hard, and ulting at a proper time with damage boosts at a proper time, you have so much room and potential to make really good plays while consistently healing your team. And of course right now she is amazing in the meta, but I also feel like her plays are so slept on, and I think she can have just some of the best plays that you can think about. Jeff is my next recommendation, and this one might be hated by certain people. I do have certain friends in higher elo that despise Jeff, and I love Jeff. He's one of my favorite characters, and I love playing Jeff. I feel like his eats, especially when you don't have like a Groot or a Strange, someone to like free set you up for an ult, when you have no help with your ult and you're still making really good ult plays, it is like the best in the world, because it straight up turns opinions about the character when you are making good plays like that. Trust me when I tell you this, if you go into a game and you're receiving hate and then you eat a 5-man, they are gonna not hate you, I promise you. It is like the best feeling in the world. I think Jeff is an amazing playmaker. I think he's pretty good right now. I think some people will not like that opinion, but I do love Jeff, and he's super fun to play, so he makes some good plays while healing and supporting. Now for this recommendation setup, I do have two honorable mentions, which are gonna be Luna and Deadpool. I feel like Luna, with her snowball, the way she can not only A, charm out of things now, but B, how she can freeze a target, has so much potential for playmaking. I don't know how many clips and montage moments I've seen where people snowball somebody out of an ult, or freeze a dive coming in, or freeze a Strange jumping out of a portal, or freeze someone about to touch the point. There are so many playmaking opportunities on Luna, and then Deadpool is just super hard. I feel like these two are both my avoid as beginners. Deadpool has so much room to play, but it's all about timing and it's all about aim, because all your shots are your heals. Obviously you have the group heal around you, the AoE, but a lot of your heals are shots. So you do need to be hitting your shots, and you do need to be timing when you're going in with your blade really, really precisely, or it's going to be a real tough time to win games. The next recommendation of characters is one I hold true to my heart, and it is characters I would recommend for players with bad aim. I feel like I started the game with pretty bad aim, so I feel like I can say these with confidence, but it's going to be Rocket, Cloak, Wanda, Squirrel Girl, Mr. Fantastic, and Thing. Now you might be asking why I had so many recommendations, but after testing a lot of these characters, I found out that they really, really help you if you have bad aim. The first character, and the character I love with absolutely all my heart, is Rocket. I do play Rocket quite a bit. It is my #1 most played character across all seasons. He is hands down the most fun character in my opinion. Obviously a little bit biased, but he does help you if you do have bad aim. The only thing he does have to aim for is the general area of players, and your orb will still heal. Obviously you do want to aim at your teammates because it does heal more, but you do get away with quite a bit because you can bounce it off walls, you can bounce it off the floor, you can bounce it off any pillars, you can bounce it between stuff. There's so many ways to get the heals off, and if you have bad aim, it's going to be super forgiving because it's still bouncing and hitting your teammates. Cloak and Dagger is the next recommendation for if you have bad aim, because they're in their dagger form, your auto attacks track your teammates. So essentially you aim in the area, get the auto lock for the tracking shot. Your shot goes at them, it follows them, heals them. Whenever there's a big group, you throw your bubble. It is very, very easy for people who have bad aim. And then when you swap to your other form, the cloak form, your drain is also a just kind of aim in the general direction and it will hit somebody. So both of her abilities accommodate greatly for having bad aim. So I think she's a great, easy pickup for this. Now for DPS, we're starting off with Wanda. I do think Wanda's a little bit criminal. The way the beam turns and winds to track enemies when your cursor's not actually on the enemy, I feel like is so criminal. I must admit, this was one of those characters that I tried out and I was like mind boggled with how easy the character is to aim, to aim specifically. Obviously, I believe she does have ceilings, but aim wise, I feel like she is a super forgiving choice, especially in the DPS aspect. Squirrel Girl's next up in the DPS. I have bad aim recommendations. Squirrel Girl is sort of like the DPS Rocket in the sense of aiming. You just kind of bounce your auto attack off walls, off floors, towards the enemy, around pillars, kind of wherever you can shoot it that's in the direction of the enemy, and you will most likely hit somebody. She is very simple, very easy. You just kind of look for the enemy and you shoot in that direction a bunch of times, and one of your auto attacks will blow up and hit somebody. It was a very nice and honestly kind of fun experience. I don't know. The next option for your recommendation for I have bad aim in the DPS department is going to be Mr. Fantastic. For his auto attacks, he can actually just throw an auto and then shake your mouse side to side, and it will hit every person that got hit by the arms in that action. So I want to say he is up there with one of the easiest characters to hit people with if you have bad aim, because you kind of just swing your arms through the enemy and it hits people. So this one was another one where I was pretty surprised when I locked in the character, because I don't really play the character, and man, it is quite accommodating if you have bad aim, because you don't really aim, you kind of just swing your arms at them and it works out. The last recommendation I have, and it's for tank players, and it's somebody we've already seen on this list, and that is the Thing. The Thing has a punch that AoEs kind of a circle behind the character you hit, and if you jump at a character and you punch in the air around them, you basically hit the character that you jumped at, and it's very consistent in that sense. So you kind of don't need to fully aim at the character you're aiming at. As long as they're in like the circle behind the auto attack, it hits them, which was quite, I mean, it felt strong but also very accommodating to having bad aim. I feel like it would have helped if I would have known that when I first started, because he is quite the easy tank to kind of pick up and just fling yourself at the enemy players, and it still does pretty good. This next recommendation group is for players who are coming over from Overwatch, whether your friends came over or they're trying to convince you to play. These are more characters that if you do play them in Overwatch, you could probably transition them over to Marvel Rivals very easily, or you could even, I would say, play them at a pretty high degree, especially if you know kind of the base playstyle of that character. The first recommendation I would probably say is Hanzo and Hawkeye. If you're a big Hanzo player, I highly recommend trying out Hawkeye. This was actually one where when I revisited Overwatch, I had put time into Hawkeye, so I played Hanzo. And I thought this was an amazing one that I didn't even think about at first, because Hanzo, I mean, it's the same switch. It's a little bit different with the ultimates, but besides that, it's the same play style, which I thought was really cool and a really nice, easy transition. The next recommendation from Overwatch would be if you are a big Moira player, especially if you like doing a little bit more DPS Moira than healing, you would easily transition into Wanda, and it's basically your dream of dropping the whole support act and playing full DPS Moira. It is basically the same thing except for your ultimate and your orb, but your orb would turn into the missile that Wanda has. Your ultimate definitely changes and it's a lot harder to hit on rivals, but the Moira Wanda comparison is absolutely perfect, and especially if you like to be more aggressive on Moira. The next recommendation is if you're a big Wrecking Ball player, you would have an easy transition into Venom as a tank in Marvel Rivals. They have the same playstyle where you're diving around, going to the backline, or disrupting the team in general, hitting some type of overshield either based off your teammates or based off your low HP, and then dropping an ult to either blow up the backline, secure a team fight, or make a little time so you can escape. I think these two were a perfect match, and it was very fun playing Wrecking Ball, kind of knowing the playstyle of Venom, had I not touched Wrecking Ball a single time. The last recommendation for players coming over from Overwatch, I would definitely say if you are an Ana main, really look into Mantis. I feel like their playstyles are very similar, except for Mantis you're shooting enemy players, and for Ana you're shooting your teammates. That's kind of the only difference. Both of their other abilities help the team, help themselves, or they buff up the team, which is like Ana alt or Mantis is just enhance in general. I felt like this was a weird comparison that I found when I played Overwatch. I was like, wait, this is like exactly like Mantis playstyle, except the opposite of who you shoot. I thought this was a really cool one, and I actually enjoyed playing Ana this time because I had thought about it. The last but not least recommendation is for players who are just new and want someone easy to play. Now, a lot of these names that I listed here are all names that you've seen basically in this video, just because players who have bad aim are probably new players. So I did put Cloak and Dagger, Squirrel Girl, Thing, Rocket, and then the other new addition to this would be Punisher, as we've seen all the other characters. CND is very easy, very simple, helps you with if you have bad aim and makes up for it, and can do a ton of healing. Squirrel Girl, very easy to hit, doesn't take much thought to get much value, has a lot of building that you can get the ceiling for your skill very high on Squirrel. There's actually some pretty high ceiling when it comes to Squirrel Girl. Thing is a super easy character, very forgiving. You can jump out, jump in, you can hit teammates, you can hit enemies. And when I say hit teammates, I mean hit them with a shield. You can't actually punch your teammate. Rocket is another really easy choice for somebody new. I feel like Rocket's ceiling is very high, not biased, but Rocket is super easy to pick up and play. You can just toss your res, you can just shoot your orbs off the floor and at your teammates and around your teammates, and you'll get value and you'll still do pretty good, which I think is super easy and someone new could easily pick up and enjoy in the first couple days, you know. Punisher is going to be the last addition to this, and I think I put Punisher here because his whole idea is very, very simple. He's got a gun, he's got a shotgun, he's got a zipline, and he's got a grenade launcher. The grenade launcher bounces back. The zipline, he rides the zipline. His regular gun is like an AR. It just shoots like a machine gun. His shotgun shoots like a shotgun. He is a very simple character. I feel like any hit scan player, any character, any player that wants to play this game as a DPS role, that wants a very easy character that literally anybody could pick up and play, Punisher is definitely the choice. Now for this one, I do have a few avoids, and I feel like Deadpool and Black Cat are your must avoids if you're someone new. I would have also put Rogue on this list, but I have no idea how to play Rogue either. These characters are super hard. Black Cat and Deadpool both have so much to their kit and so many different layers to how you play them, especially Deadpool having 3 different role types. These 2 characters I would highly avoid if you are someone new and you want someone easy to play. Those 2 characters are going to be a very hard time for you. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Booo, and if you made it all the way to the end, we are on the road to 1K subs, so please, if you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world. I would appreciate it. It would help a lot. It mean a lot. And if your hero was on this list, or if you had any other recommendations on what players should play, or maybe you know more about Overwatch and you had other comparisons that you know, definitely drop those in the comments and let's get to talking. But the video is over. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, night, morning, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one.